What's up, everybody? Welcome to Manly Monday Live with the Fallible Man. I am your host, Brent, and it is amazing to have you here today. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, and it's always good to see you guys. Be sure and shout out in the comments below. Where are you joining us from? Where are you watching this show from? And guys, hey, this is a much better conversation when you get to be a part of it and when you are involved. So be sure and join us in the comments. Sign in on whatever platform you're on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Guys, we're streaming live to both of them, and I am just excited to be here tonight. So I'm getting some feedback. I'm getting some lag, and I apologize if that's the case, but stick with me, and I'm sure you're going to see it all. Shout out. Tell me if I got any sound problems, guys. I'm still mastering this whole live stream thing. It's still kind of a crazy event. But let us know if we're starting to lag or something like that, and we'll see what we can do about it. But, guys, I am so excited to be here today and hang out with you guys. Now, if you have questions for the Q&A time, guys, you can put a Q in front of your question in the comment section of whatever platform you're watching. Also, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see a link in the description of the video, guys. There is a link to a secure form where you can sign up to actually come on the show live with us, guys. You can be here. You can be present. I'll send you a link for your camera and microphone where you can log in and ask your question live during the Q&A portion later in the show, if that's what you're into. Guys, fill that out and let me know if you want to do that. And let's get this show rolling, guys. Hey, today I want to talk about pop culture a little bit. Now, you'll notice that unless you just are not on the internet, which obviously you are because, hey, we're live streaming right now and you're joining us. So, whether you're catching this on the replay or you're live with us, guys, you'll notice, unless you've been living under a rock, there is a crazy new show on Netflix that is taking the world by storm. It's an international show called Squid Game. Now, Squid Game is an interesting show, and all it is a new take on an old idea. I wish I could say it's totally original, but I guess every generation or two, we got to get a new show that does exactly the same thing as its predecessors and just puts a slightly different spin on it. That's not to criticize. I'm not saying that the guy who wrote it didn't create his own thing, but he was definitely heavily influenced. And it's true that if you wait enough years, you'll see things you've seen in the past come right back around and circle around to you guys. Whether it's bell-bottom jeans that we all just wish would go away, or it's plot lines for shows that are no longer original. But if you wait long enough, I guess, it is another year of sequels if you look at what's coming out this year in the movie theaters. But guys, Squid Show is just sweeping the world. It's international. It's a show out of South Korea. And guys, we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk a little bit about the Hunger Games and Running Man and a few other shows. But, I promise no spoilers, guys. I don't do spoilers because spoilers suck. So we're not going to go there. But, oh, hey, Dave. Thanks for joining us, man. You're on the road, so be careful driving while listening. But, guys, it doesn't matter if you've seen the show. You don't have to see the show to appreciate, or you don't have to have seen Squid Game to appreciate what we're going to talk about today. We're going to touch on it, but it's not the main focal of it. But there is so much to delve into. So, guys, without further ado, let's get started, huh?
Be better tomorrow because of what you do today.
Now, guys, be sure and shout out in the comments. I love interacting with you guys. I love hearing what you have to say. If I seem a little off today, I thought I had a co-host today, but I didn't. So the show's going to run a little bit different, but that's cool because I just like hanging out with you guys. Now, if you're on the internet, you've seen this show. If not, here's the synopsis, okay? And I pulled this straight off IMDb. It's like I said, I promise no spoilers. The synopsis for Squid Game is hundreds of cash-strapped players accept a strange invitation to compete in children's games. Inside, a tempting prize awaits with deadly high stakes. A survival game that has a whopping $45.6 billion at stake. Now, if you only heard that, you would miss the part of the series that really bears some scrutiny. Because These people are risking dying for money for the entertainment of wealthy people. See, I told you it's not a really new concept, right? Poor people, destitute people, desperate people vying in a deadly game for rich people's entertainment. So, not the most original premise. It definitely has its own spins on it. Not everybody has gone with children's games. And if you've seen any of these series, guys, it's pretty brutal. If you have a weak stomach, I really can't suggest watching this. It is a pretty extreme show. If you are into a gore fest, or you like slasher flicks, it might be up your alley. But guys, just some of the previews are enough to make some people sick. It's kind of a twisted show. It's the most dangerous game of red light, green light I've ever seen. But this isn't a new premise at all, guys. I mean, let's go back a little bit. Let's jump into 1987. The Running Man. Fun fact: The Running Man was written by Stephen King. If you didn't know that fact. Now, I grew up on Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies, and so I've seen The Running Man, and I loved watching The Running Man. It was a crazy utopian world where prisoners were given a chance to play in this sadistic, horrible game to win their freedom. And guys, it was pretty brutal, especially for 1987. But hey, let's jump forward a few decades and hit the 20 teens, and I'm going to say 20 teens because it was a series that spun. What's the right word for that? Oh, there I go, stumbling over English again. Hi, Kate from Missouri. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us tonight. Now, Running Man is a great reality show. Thank you, Twisted Designer, for jumping on. It's good to see you. Guys, I love that you're jumping on. Shout out, tell us where you're coming from. Running Man was a phenomenal show. Like I said, I cut my teeth on classic Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone. But in the 20 teens, we had The Hunger Games. Now, it was another one of those phenomenon shows that was really hard to avoid if you were online at all. The Hunger Games was everywhere, and there were multiple sequels. That's why I say the 20 teens, because the first one was 2012, and then it was like 2014, 2015, something like that. Hey, Jared. Thanks for joining in, man. Shout out from Portland. But you couldn't have missed the Hunger Games if you were online at all during that era, guys. And it's still talked about today. And the Hunger Games was a premise where there was a fracture in the country, and there were several fractures among the different parts of the country. And it ended up becoming warring states. And the one that won decided to punish everybody who lost. And they have to submit one of their young people to these brutal, horrible, sadistic games for the pleasure of the elites that now run everything. So like I said, it's not a new concept, but all these shows are political satires at some varying level. But the question is, what really draws us into these shows? I mean, seriously, Squid Game is like completely sadistic. It's a pretty horrible game. It's a pretty horrible show. It's super violent and graphic. Like I said, not for a weak stomach and not something for everybody to watch. I know it's not something that I would ever let my children watch or anything like that. I mean, it's not something that I'm sure I can stomach all the way through. It's pretty graphic. But what is so fascinating about these shows that we get drawn into them? Why are these films and shows working for decades? I mean, Running Man was 1987, right? Well, here we are at 2021, getting closer to 2022. Can you believe that? The year is flying by, guys. And as we approach 2022, we're still seeing that this is popular. In fact, there is so much talk and buzz about season 2 that hasn't even been confirmed yet by the guy who writes the show, that they're even considering doing it. Netflix certainly hasn't confirmed it. But guys, why are we so drawn to it? I have a theory I want to share with you tonight, and it has to do with the fact that in all these stories, we're hoping the protagonist brings justice back to the antagonist of the show. We're all hoping for justice in the long run. Now, before I keep going, guys, I want you to share with me an idea here. Justice is a word that's been manipulated and screwed up recently. So I want to be really clear here. I looked through multiple dictionaries, guys, and this is the definition that I found. Looking in multiple dictionaries, right, from Webster's to Dictionary Online and all those, there are multiple definitions of the term justice these days, which is really, really weird to me. But this is the one I want to talk about tonight, okay? The quality of being righteous, equitableness, and moral righteousness. The moral principle determining just conduct. Now, guys, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about justice in these shows. We're all hoping for justice. And let me be really clear that justice in these shows, especially when you watch these shows, is not always the authorities handling things. In fact, if you're an Arnie fan like I am, right, the authorities usually get painted in pretty bad light, and it's usually some rogue guy who becomes a vigilante, right? That's why we all like Batman, right? We like vigilante justice, which is kind of terrifying if you think about it in societal norms. But that seems to be what draws us about these shows, right? All through Squid Game, we're just hoping that somebody breaks even with the elites. We're hoping that somehow in the end of this, the protagonist is going to get these crazy elites that are watching people die for fun. It's kind of a sick entertainment. Now, guys, I got something really special for you tonight. Before we keep rolling, I am giving away something just like usual. If you've been on my live streams before, you know I like to give away things. I like to share. The guys, we're not giving away a coffee cup tonight. We're not even giving away a book tonight. Tonight, I'm giving away a shirt. Tonight, your choice of colors, your size. Tonight, I'm giving away one of our shirts, and guys, and that's a beautiful mock-up video I did of our shirts, but just to prove that the real thing looks just like that, guys, here it is. This is brown. This is our official shirt for Manly Mondays, guys, and tonight I'm giving away a t-shirt for Manly Mondays. So if you want to be entered to join or to win, you need to type hashtag Manly Monday in the chat so you can be entered to win at the end of the show, guys, and we will be sending you out a brand new Manly Mondays live t-shirt. So if you want to be entered to win, hashtag Manly Mondays. It is a nice looking shirt. Thank you. I'm pretty fond of it. I was wearing it yesterday, and I thought, man, I should have worn that on the show, not the day before the show. Bad timing on my part. But guys, I think these shows are just a new take on an old storyline, to be honest. Like I said, everything comes back around. And if you look all through history, there's this formula that works for movies, right? So let's talk Robin Hood for a minute. I am a Robin Hood fan. I love Robin Hood. He was one of my favorite all-time characters in literature, and it might be there's always the debate over whether it was purely fiction or based on somebody. But guys, I love Robin Hood. Why do we love Robin Hood? Well, he's the vigilante do-gooder trying to right the wrongs, right? We all hated Prince John. Prince John was evil, and Prince John was wrong and just destroying the world around him. My wife says the original Batman. That's right. The original Batman. Another great vigilante standing up against evil and wrong. And guys, this is a theme that has spanned for centuries. And I don't think Squid Game, I don't even think that the Hunger Games is really that different, right? What do we want in the Hunger Games? We wanted Katniss. Yes, I've seen the Hunger Games. Full disclosure, I've only seen like the first one. I wasn't big into it. But we all wanted Katniss to get the bad guys, right? We wanted her not only to survive, but we're invested in her. We want her to set things right because these are bad, evil people. Well, that's what we wanted for Robin Hood. We wanted him to get Prince John because he was a bad, evil person. That's what we wanted out of Batman. Now, I know it's a much different show. The Running Man versus Batman. You know, Hunger Games versus Robin Hood. It's a much different show, but what draws us into it is as human beings, we seek justice. We want to see justice. We want to see wrongs be righted. We want to see bad guys pay for their crimes. We want to see injustices fixed. Jared says the Twilight Zone had a great take on societal television. Still a favorite. I'm going to have to check out that episode. Thanks for sharing that, Jared. But guys, that's what we want. We want justice. It's built into us. We're designed with the idea of justice. Now, all you got to do to believe that is check out more movie references. Imagine that. Brent likes movie references. Cheers. Our cups are still available on our website. But if you know me, I need coffee to keep running. So, got to keep drinking the coffee. All you got to do is look at modern movies, right? Marvel/Disney made a ridiculous fortune with 12 years and 25 years of planning to create what we love, the Avengers, right? Then we have DC and the Justice League. Truth, justice in the American way. That was Superman. He was big into it. I was never a big Superman fan. I like Batman a little more. But, right, we were fascinated. They filled our childhood with stories just like that. Go back and think about your favorite movies, right? Action movies and even other movies. We want to see right triumph most of the time. Now, I got to admit, there are some guilty pleasures every now and then. Every now and then I like to watch the bad guy win. And there have been a few times where the bad guy, he might have lost, but he was actually right. And that's even more entertaining to me. But we like generations and generations of movies and books and television shows have proven we actually hunger for justice as a society. So I want to be really clear here, guys, just for, the sake of being on the side of right here in justice. Justice, as we tend to appreciate it in movies, doesn't look a lot like legal justice frequently. Legal justice is important and valuable. Guys, I don't believe in being a vigilante, but I do believe that there are times where sometimes the law has their hand ties. And so it's up to good people to stand in. In fact, one of my favorite quotes of all times, guys, is I love this quote from Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. This is one of my all-time favorite quotes. In fact, you'll find on our website that I have a shirt made with this quote because I like this quote so much. But sometimes it doesn't seem like law gets it because their hands are tied. And so that's why we like these fantasies about vigilante justice. We like the Batmans and the Punishers and all the anti-heroes. Those were always my favorites. Shout out in the comment section, guys. Who was your favorite? Comment below if you're on the rewatch, on the replay on YouTube, guys. Comment down below or in the comment section. Who was your favorite character? Your favorite vigilante, your favorite hero who was righting wrongs everywhere? I know we're going to get some Superman people. Oh, we got a Venom. We got a Venom. He is a great anti-hero. I haven't seen the new movie. I'm excited. I want to go see that one. I love the first one. We got any Superman fans out there? Other Batman people? I know my wife sounded off earlier with Batman. That was always my favorite. I was big into Batman. But we like heroes. I grew up, I cut my teeth on John Wayne. I love John Wayne. In fact, it's a different approach, but I think this kind of thing is a new spin on the classics, right? Whether it's Batman, Dirty Harry. Any of you guys old enough to remember Dirty Harry? Anybody who's a Duke? Oh, Green Lantern. No, I can't do it, man. The Ryan Reynolds movie just killed it for me, even if I could have gotten behind the Green Lantern. Even Ryan Reynolds regrets that one, but it just kind of killed it for me. I was a big John Wayne fan. I grew up with Clint Eastwood. I watched The Dirty Dozen with my dad with Lee Marvin. I love those kind of shows. And so I looked to these kind of heroes growing up, right? People who would just stand their ground. Years ago, The Rock did a movie called Walking the Line? Or Walking Tall. Sorry, it was Walking Tall. And it was about a guy who came home and saw a wrong in his town and stood up to it, and it cost him a lot. And so he stood up to it some more. Big showdown. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is in a whole nother level, Chuck Norris making Chuck Norris jokes is it's a thing, because when you're just that crazily awesome, you can do that. Guys, hey, if you want to jump into the Q&A time, we don't have to talk about this during the Q&A time. Anything on my channel is fair game. So if you want to jump into the Q&A time, be sure and hit that link in the description of whatever you're watching, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Fill out the form so that way I have your email address and I can send you a link if you want to bring your question live on air later in the show. Now, the big question is, if it's so important that we seek justice, right, that we are drawn to it in these movies, we're drawn to it in our books, how do we develop justice? Because to me, justice is going to be found when we develop it in our own lives. Like everything else you're going to find on my channel, guys, I believe that you are in control of you. Mel Gibson and the Patriot. That was a great show. Hi, Shirley. Nice to have you join us. That was a fabulous show. I enjoyed that one a lot. Guys, I am very much into extreme ownership. And the fact, the only reason The Rock made Walking Tall is that Chuck Norris was busy making Chuck Norris because Chuck Norris. Oh, justice or revenge. And that's a really valid point. Right up with Twisted Designer. Justice or revenge. And it is really a harsh line to walk, guys, between justice and revenge. Sometimes what starts out as justice turns into revenge, or what starts out as revenge turns into justice, but it is definitely a difficult line. Now, guys, you've heard me say this before, possibly if you've been on the channel, but I absolutely believe that if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. That is what the Fallible Man channel is all about, guys, is improving yourself, growing yourself, because that's what you control. There's a lot in this world that is completely outside of our control and we have no effect on. And I think justice can be fixed and adjusted the same way that we adjust ourselves, right? If you want to have a better job, then you do the work to raise your knowledge level, your skill level, and you grow yourself to where you can get that better job, right? If you want to have better health, you do the work, you get better, you raise yourself to that level to where you have better health. I think justice is the same way. And justice starts with integrity. Now, I got a really great joke that you guys are going to love. Do you know the word integrity is part of almost every government agency oath or motto? If you look at the FBI and the CIA, look at the branches of the military, integrity is considered part of their motto, which is just hilarious if you watch the news, right? We haven't seen a lot of examples of integrity. Yeah, irony. We haven't seen a lot of examples of integrity in the U.S. government or in our various forms of law enforcement inside the government agencies. But it is actually the most commonly occurring word used as mottos for our justice system. But what is integrity? You guys know what this is? This was something that was drilled into me really hard. And the simplest explanation is integrity is choosing the right thing even when nobody's watching you. Integrity is a core belief in my belief system personally. I think you should make the right choice, whether it costs you everything, whether it is popular, whether anybody is looking. I believe in doing the right thing. Now, I won't say I'm 100% perfect at it. This is the Fallible Man channel, guys. You know better than that. I don't pretend. I'm not going to front and say that I've got it all worked out or I'm perfect. But it is a core value to me. Integrity can be in an organization, but when I'm going to throw this comment up. Integrity can be in an organization, but when politics get involved, integrity normally takes a back seat. That is true. Way too many politics, way too much of the time. But guys, integrity is a core component, I think, of developing yourself as an individual, as a person, as a man, since this is a channel that focuses mainly on men. Although I know we have a mixed group tonight. I'm glad that you guys are here too. Integrity is critical. If you want justice, it has to start with you. You have to choose the right thing. You have to choose to do what is correct, whether it's practical or not. You have to choose that I am going to do what is right. If you always tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. That is absolutely true, Shirley. It's a lot easier to not have to cover a lie because you didn't tell one than to actually cover a lie up. And that is absolutely true. But it is critical to finding justice in our world, to building up a world that is just and treats people fairly and does the right things, to holding people accountable. If we first build that in ourselves, guys, so you have to work on developing your integrity. You have to focus. This is something I want my children to learn, and they're watching tonight. So it's something that you have to focus on working at every day, guys. It's a constant trial. Every day you're going to be presented with opportunities to make choices that are right or wrong. And only you know how you did on that, guys. I can't decide that for you. No one is going to tell you you did that. No one is watching you all the time. Oh, we're going to get into it tonight. Of course, nowadays, what is the truth? Truth isn't relative, although people try to make it as such. I would agree 100%. My boy there on the Common Man OCR, I think there's some things that are true, period. I don't think it's a matter of opinion. But guys, doing what's right, even when no one is looking, is really hard. And you got to scale it down. To practice integrity, we got to scale it down, okay? Doing what's right when no one is looking is when you're tempted to eat that thing you shouldn't on your diet because nobody's going to know. You're the one who records your diet. You're the one who charts everything. That's integrity, guys. The only person you would be lying to is yourself. The only person you would be cheating is yourself. But making that choice, that's practicing integrity. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets and the easier it gets to practice. Now, let me remind you guys, if you want to be entered in to wear our shirt, to get a free shirt, guys. I have it on multiple colors. Be sure and type in #ManlyMoney in the comments. We're going to be drawing for that in just a little while, guys, and we will give away one of our shirts. And guys, if you're enjoying this, if you're getting anything out of it, whatever platform you're on, do the good social media thing for me. Help me out with algorithms. Click like, subscribe, share us with your friends. That goes so far for my tiny little channels, guys. If you just share what you're learning, that is the greatest compliment you give me anyway. But be sure and like and share this with your friends. That helps us out a lot as a small channel. Now, one of the ways we do this, one of the ways we get better at integrity is we learn to take a stand when we see things that are wrong. Okay? And it's one of the hard things to do for some people, and for other people it's an easier thing to do. But learning to take a stand, right? It's a little harder sometimes, to be honest with you, to practice integrity on little things, right? Like the diet example. Not eating those couple M&Ms and just not writing them down on your diet journal, right? Not doing those last couple reps at the gym. Not making those last, couple steps in the mile that you're trying to run. There's a program right now going on Facebook, if you guys have seen it, called Mission 22. I participated in it last year. I may participate in it this year again. I didn't raise a lot of money, but I may participate in it again this year. I'm still deciding. Mission 22 is to help raise mailing. I'm not sure what you're asking, Shirley. Manly Monday is the hashtag today. Manly Monday. But it's called Mission 22, right? And is to raise awareness for veteran suicide prevention, raise awareness for veteran suicide prevention, guys. The statistics are that we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you know I have a deep love for our military and for our veterans. And so Mission 22 is something to help raise awareness. It's a very simple thing. It's 22 push-ups a day, every day for November. And, little things, no one's checking you on that. Okay. I did it last year. No one was checking me every day to make sure I did 22 push-ups. Last year, I took mine up a notch. I did 100 push-ups every day for the month of November. Man, it sucked because I am not used to it. But no one is checking you. And on those little things, it's actually a little easier, or I should say a little harder to practice your integrity sometimes. On the big things like taking a stand for something you believe in, it's actually easier for some people. So that's part of developing your integrity, is learning when to put your foot down and take a stand for what you believe to be correct. Now, guys, let me tell you, it will make you unpopular. If you actually stand for your beliefs, you will become incredibly unpopular with some people you might have wanted to be popular with. But that is what it takes to practice integrity. Not everybody wants you to do the right thing. Now, let's see. Cover that. Checking my notes to make sure I didn't blow anything. Guys, I appreciate you hearing me out tonight. I don't have a bunch of big flashy points tonight. I have an overall theme that's just been eating at me, so I hope you're getting something out of it. Now, guys, it is your last chance to type in. We got a question here. Jared will do a drawing, and then we'll get into the QAs in just a minute, man. And guys, if you don't know, we do Q&A in the second half of the show. Be sure and send us a link if you want to come on live for that. We have a link out there in the descriptions if you want to join live, or you can do what Jared did here and put a Q in front of your question in the comment section, and we will dig into that in the show next, right after we give away a free t-shirt. Now, one more time, because I worked for like a whole solid 30 seconds on this, just because I think it's beautiful. Here you go. Now, guys, if you want your chance to win that shirt, we are rolling. Here it is. Manly Monday. Hashtag Manly Monday. Common Man OCR is saying, when will I ever win? That is a valid question, Dave. You have the worst luck on this show ever. So if you want a chance to win tonight's t-shirt, Manly Monday, hashtag Manly Monday. And let's get over here and do it. Did I spell manly wrong? I spelled manly wrong. That's really good for my show. All right. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Manly Monday. We only have 3. That can't be right. Did we spell it wrong? Because I counted at least 4. Anyone, anybody? Last chance. Hashtag Manly Monday. Could have sworn there were more people drawing for it. Maybe somebody dropped off. Here we go. Congratulations, Twisted Designer. You won a free t-shirt. So chances are you know how to find me outside of this live stream. So what you wanted to do is go to my website and check out the t-shirts. See what color and size is going to be good for you, and hit me outside of here, either on Facebook or one of my other social medias. You probably know how to get a hold of me, and we will get that shirt made for you and sent right to your home. Now, guys, since we've talked about Batman and everything else, let's see, I'm missing my stuff. Oh, I got something just for you guys. I totally blew it. Where was it? Here we go. Talking about Batman. Yeah. We're talking about our favorite vigilantes tonight and seeking justice. So I had to bring Batman on. Because I'm Batman. Okay. Finished playing. Maybe. People who are loved the most are also hated the most because they stand up for what they believe. Very true. Now, let's see. Entering into our Q&A time, guys. And if you got more questions, guys, like I said, we are fair game. Anything we talk about on this channel, anything we talk about at the Fallible Man is fair game. And let's get into some questions. If you have any more questions, guys, throw them in the comment section. Or, like I said, hit us up. There is a link under all of the shows. And we can bring you on and ask your question live. Jared brings out to us, do you have a defining moment in your life where you later realized how much integrity you had, but didn't appreciate it at the time? Thanks. Are we looking at story time? Is that we are here, Jared? Is that what you're asking? I want to clarify that. Oh, my wife said she wasn't laughing at me. She was laughing at Batman. Jared, is that what we're looking for? It's a little story time here. Just for clarification. You still with me? So the question at hand is, do you have a defining moment in your life where you later realized how much integrity you had but didn't appreciate it at the time? Any of you guys who know me at a more personal level know that I was in the military for a short time. And I was in the military for a short time because things did not go well for me in the military. I hit every bump, bruise, and log on the way. And one of the defining moments of my life happened in basic training. In basic training, I'm going to take the question off the screen. Has everybody seen the question? Basic training, I was a squadron leader in my basic training unit. And one of my sergeants acted out against one of my guys. I was the squadron leader. I had about 25 guys under me. And one of my guys had been stupid because, you know, a lot of us are stupid in basic training. That just kind of happens. But the sergeant, I don't know if he was having a bad day or if he was just that big of a jerk, but he went over the top. He went off and started to trash talk the guy's wife and kid and what a failure he was to them, what kind of losers would love him. And it was way outside of line as far as I was concerned. So after he threw my airman out of the unit and sent him down to be removed, he came back in and opened his mouth and was like, hey, anyone else got a problem? And at the time I stood up and told him, it's like, sir, Training Dallin reports, I have a problem with what you did. It was wrong. The man's family is not in the Air Force. You have no right to discuss his family. You have no right to attack his family. That situation escalated. I almost ended up attacking my sergeant because he got in my face. If you guys know me, I got a bit of a temper. And he got right here in my face, and the situation escalated very quickly. It stopped just shy of us actually coming to blows. But it was completely incorrect as far as I was concerned. Hey, Dave, good to see you, man. And so I challenged him. I ended up getting thrown out of that unit. I spent an extra week in boot camp. They did something called rolling me back so I would learn my lesson. And I got transitioned to another training unit for popping off. When I got to that training unit, I had my sergeant ask me, he's like, well, I've heard you're a dirtbag. Are you a dirtbag? I said, well, I've heard you're a leader. I guess we'll find out. And I was very vindicated when I got to the end of boot camp. My sergeant, who had refused to read my file up until that point, came to me when he handed me my medallion that said I had graduated basic training and said, hey, I read your file. You were right to do what you did. You were absolutely correct. He was out of line. I'm the one who hand typed the report. My sergeant signed off on what I typed. And so it was very nice to be vindicated. At the time, it cost me some emotional angst and almost my career in the military. And that was very rough. But 2 days later, I felt even more vindicated because the sergeant who had thrown me out of his unit started harassing me in the chow hall. And my sergeant came over and put him in his place like he was nothing. I felt very vindicated at that moment because I had done the right thing and it had hurt very badly at the time for me. But I was vindicated in the long run, and I had no idea. I mean, I thought I was going to actually get kicked out of the military. So very excited, and that was very impressive. So I hope that answers your question, Jared. If you guys missed that, that was the question. Do you have a defining moment in your life when you later realized how much integrity you had, but didn't appreciate it at the time? Man, at the time, I was just scared to death they were going to kick me out of the military, and I was going to be screwed and lose everything I had been working for. So, yeah. We got any more questions for the Q&A, guys? Now is the time. I love talking to you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Any more questions for the Q&A? Let's see. Let me check my emails. I don't see that anybody has punched in to be on. So, guys, I appreciate hanging out with me and taking the time to be on the live stream tonight. As always, be better tomorrow because of what you do today. And, guys, we will see you on the next one.